Hey, everybody, and welcome. Kristi, I thought you were leading, and then I just remembered it was me. Sorry, guys.
I could totally tell. It was like,
That was
that
a
pause is too long.
uh, that's a terrible attention span. Hey, guys. This is Katie and Kristi from True Crime Paranormal with the Psychic Sisters, and it is our Wednesday night live updates. So, hello, how's it going?
Hello, it's going great. I'm excited to talk about some updates we have and hear from our listeners. I love the live feeds because they're really fun because we get to hear from all of you guys, and that's really fun.
Yeah, they're the best.
I'm gonna
Well,
apologize now for yawning. I don't know why. I just all of a sudden it just hit me really hard, and I'm like, crap. I hate yawning on the show, but
man, I'm ignoring you as hard as I can on that
please
because it's
do. Please
coming.
do. Try not to look at me. Don't listen to me. Yeah.
Nothing. Okay. Well, we are live streaming both from our Facebook page and our YouTube page. So hopefully you'll land in one of those places and chat with us. We're keeping an eye on the comments from both. So
Yeah.
come and say hello. Throw out your best info. This is always we do our live streams on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and they're fun times to catch up and chat with you all. So you know, one of the more important things. What have you been doing all day?
Well, I've been working a lot on my website and I've been teaching a lot of podcast clients, and that's about it. And that's kind of been my whole day. Oh, I taught my
Nice.
mother-in-law how to use Zoom. Hey, Bonnie. She watches the show. So she learned how to
Oh,
use
wonderful.
Zoom, which is cool because we can't see each other right now. So we're going to use that for some holidays and some being able to check in a bit. So that's awesome.
Very good. Yeah, I know. The holidays are going to be a little weird this year for a lot of families.
Yeah, they are super weird. Also,
I
just
know,
coming very quickly. My head is spinning a bit
right?
about like Thanksgiving is in like 2 weeks
Yeah,
here in the
I
US.
know.
If you're a if you're a US Thanksgiving celebrator, it's in 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks. I get it. What'd you make for
Oh,
dinner? This is always the
um,
important question. Everyone, please chime in. What did you make for dinner?
Rhonda made tacos because I was busy working. What did you make for dinner?
I have not made dinner. I'm gonna make dinner when I'm done here.
Oh my goodness.
Well,
That's kinda late.
I know. I'll tell you why, but I'm going to make spaghetti with zucchini noodles. So
Yum. Sounds
that's
good.
quick and easy. That's no big deal. But yeah, well, here's my problem. When I get an idea of something I want to make, like that burns a hole in me until I do it, you know?
Ah.
And so I've been pouring resin again today, and I've been making dominoes for all of the kids in our family for Christmas. And
Ah.
I have this plan for our nephew Jack. He loves the 49ers. And so in my domino molds, I thought it would be really cool if I could now get this. You'll laugh because you know what my coordination looks like, what my fine motor skills look like. But I thought I could have 1 cup of red and 1 cup of gold resin, and I could pour them into each little domino at the same time so that, they're half and half, and then just move on down the line.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Yes, you can do that. I did it with varying levels of success. Some of them look really good, and some of them might have to be redone. But
Oh, no.
anyway, but I've been down the rabbit hole on those, trying to make them look cool. And then out of vinyl, I'll cut out the Niners logo and stick it on the back. So anyway, they should be really cool. But whew,
Yeah.
this is like when I tried to learn to play piano. Yeah, that's right. And left hand cooperating at the same time. Anyway, they're okay. They'll be okay. But
Well, good.
I also had found these Christmas ornaments I really want to make. You buy the arabesque tiles, like from Lowe's.
Mm,
They're kind of shaped
okay.
like a lantern. They're really cool. I'll
Okay.
show and tell next week. So, but I also wanted to get some vinyl cut so I could work on weeding some and start making a few. And so I did that too. So anyway, so dinner didn't get made because I was, having fun.
I
But
see.
so either someone else in this house will make dinner by the time I get off of this show, unlikely, or I'll do it then.
Unlikely. Maybe if they're
So,
listening, they should get right on dinner.
right? Yeah, probably not. You know, you know how it goes.
Oh, yes. Well,
Some of
I'm
those
actually
nights
very
just no one wants to make dinner.
right? I hear you. That's
Yeah.
that's when, uh, that's when we keep DoorDash in business, I will just admit, but yeah.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah. So JR says maybe some salmon. Have they? Yeah, she hasn't cooked yet either. I get it. I know.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it'll happen. I will say the pigs got dinner though, because
Well, I you can't not feed them.
no, you would never get away with that. I need to make a video and show you guys sometime. But when you start getting their dinner ready, and it's just getting their pellets into the measuring cups and putting water in their dishes, but the house party that goes on, the running and squealing joyfully and shrieking and whistling, you would think you were giving them each $1,000,000. It is so funny and cute, but sometimes it's, they're
A
also
little
underfoot and they won't get out of your way so you can actually feed them because they're too busy telling you how excited they are to be getting fed, and,
right.
it's what it is, but anyway, but we got some pretty serious snow. I mean, serious, we got about 4 inches, and I know you
Yeah.
guys didn't get. Christy and I only live 30 miles apart, but we have a little different, we get colder and get more snow typically at my
Yeah.
house.
Yeah, we didn't get as much. We only got maybe an inch.
Yeah.
Not that much,
Yeah. Yeah, we've got quite a bit more.
but it's
Our
been
roads were
cold. I mean, it's
Oh,
literally
yeah,
starting to feel like winter,
it does.
which it is November. It is mid-November, basically. So,
Yeah.
yeah, we pretty much should
It's
be feeling like that.
yeah, it's winter time. Blah.
Mhm.
Yeah, our roads were so scary last night. Today they've, melted off and they took better care of them, but ooh, they were bad last night. How
Yeah.
many pigs do I have? I have 2. I have they're both 2 years old. Our little sow is black and her name is Fiona, and our little, boar is named Ziggy, and he's blonde with black spots. He had red stripes when we got him. He would look like an Easter egg. He had these adorable red stripes down both sides, and then the little black spots. And my God, he was adorable. And then he got, as he got bigger, all of that hair fell out and he just went blonde. I mean, he's still adorable, but
He
those
is.
red stripes. Oh, he was the
He's
cutest thing
darling.
on the planet of Earth. Yeah. Paula says, use your non dominant hand for tasks like brushing your teeth and using a computer mouse to help with both at the same time. That's a really good idea.
They train your brain. Look at that.
Yeah. But not chopping vegetables for dinner. That would be a disaster.
Do
Yeah.
not do that. No. Mm-mm.
Thanks, Paula. That's actually a super good tip that I should take to heart. Well, we do have a few updates tonight. Well, not updates. Well, we do. We have a Lori Vallow update, but
We do.
and then we have a case to share that is one of those familial DNA solved kinds of cases that is pretty wild that a friend sent over this week. So we thought that would be a
Yeah.
fun one to share. So let's talk about Lori Vallow first.
Well, let's do. I mean, it turns out that when you say on a recording in a public place that you think you might kill your ex-husband, the police tend to prick up their ears about that a bit. So
Yeah,
the police in Arizona have now made a statement that they are aware of this recording and that they are, in fact, investigating Joe Ryan's death. So I think that's good news. I feel like they
yeah,
probably already knew this, but they just hadn't shared it with the public. But then
yeah.
Annie Cushing did share it with the public. And
Hmm.
so they've come back and said, yes, we know, and we are looking into it because, it does seem a bit suspect that she was talking about this only about 6 months after he died suspiciously. So
Yeah,
I just think that's good news, just more building a case in more places, the
yeah,
just to make sure that we can keep old Lori behind bars for the rest of her life. I mean, that definitely is something that is very important. She's obviously a danger to society and should not be out.
no,
And
definitely no,
currently the
no,
charges that she's facing are not going to keep her in jail for life. And
no.
so we need some more charges.
Yep. Yep, definitely. Well, and because I mean, hearing her say, and if you don't know what recording we're talking about, go back and listen to the Wednesday night updates last week. We
Yes.
played a portion of it. And so, or just go look for eastidahonews.com. I think they published the whole thing. So you can listen
They
to all of it
did.
if you want.
Yeah.
It's like 45 minutes and boring as hell, most of it, but there are,
Mhm.
the juicy bits. But, she said last week that God said it was okay.
Yeah. Yeah, she
She
did.
was justifying it with scriptures and with her own personal revelation, and had
Yeah.
decided that, hey, it's a-okay to kill as long as God says so. And clearly she has felt like that has been said to her lots of times.
Yeah. Yeah, and this was, the first suspicious death around her, and so, there are a lot of questions around, was this her first murder?
Mhm.
And did this sort of kick off, the murders of her husband at the time, Charles, her children, Tylee and JJ, Chad Daybell's wife, Tammy, her
Yeah.
brother, Alex. Did this kick off those deaths? Did she finally figure out a way to give herself permission to get rid of people who had become inconvenient to her? And had a way of saying that it was okay because God said, I mean, the delusion here is really deep.
Mhm.
Um, and so it is very troubling, but there's a real
Mhm.
question here. Like, is this the beginning of this pattern? And if they can prove that, can we continue then to prove some of these other things as well? So this
Yeah.
is good news. If you're not sure what we're talking about the Tylee Ryan JJ Vallow case, murder
Mhm.
case. Lori Vallow is their mother, and then Lori's husband, Chad, who's also involved. And if you will go back and look, and I know because I counted, because I just did some updating of this stuff, we have done 36 videos on this case. And some of them are updates like this where there's, information about that case and then others, but a lot of videos that are dedicated specifically to this case. So if you go look at our playlists in YouTube, you will find it all together in one case, in one playlist, so that you can, start from the beginning if you haven't heard this story, because it is a doozy. But we're certainly keeping a close eye on it because it's local to us, and we're going to keep reporting on it. So I'm just glad to hear that, this is just one more reason for the police in Arizona to be keeping an eye on her, as well as, the police and the prosecutor here.
Yep.
Jessica says, delusional people will always justify their actions. Yeah. And this does feel like that. Like she said she was searching the scriptures for
Mhm.
things that would tell her it would be okay to kill him.
Yep. Yep. And had found her justification. So, yeah, it's
Yeah.
so wild. Yeah.
JR says, do you think she
Mm.
could hurt someone behind bars? It seems like she can't control herself, especially if she gets into a relationship while in prison. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
I don't really put anything past her at this point. I mean, she literally
Mhm.
participated in the murder and dismemberment of her own children. So,
Mhm.
yeah, she could,
Yeah.
She's
More
definitely,
likely prison because in the Madison County Jail, she's pretty segregated from everybody else. She doesn't have
yeah.
much of a chance to form relationships. But once she gets to prison, oh, I could see
Mhm.
little Miss Lori having her little acolytes following her,
Oh, yeah.
and oh, yeah, it's
She's really good at getting people to buy into her bullshit.
uh-huh. Now most people, when they, figure out who she is, most women in prison who, have children somewhere that they wish they were with are not going to take kindly to her. But,
Yeah.
there will be
Mhm.
some
There will.
that actually buy into her bullshit for sure.
She's very good at making women who don't feel very good about themselves, follow her.
Uh-huh.
I think that's Melanie Gibb for you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You
Think
know, "Ooh, the
about
pretty girl likes me" kinda stuff.
totally, totally.
Yeah.
Thinking about it's our episode called The Scripture Dance Off,
Oh,
but
yes.
but it's
I love that title.
I will forever love that, but
It's
no,
good.
sorry. Every time, it gets me every time, uh, because it was a Scripture Dance Off, but this
Oh,
was a
yeah, so much.
part of the preliminary hearing, Chad's preliminary hearing that they played this recording that Melanie Gibb had made, uh, a conversation that she had with Lori when she called her out about where are the kids and what's going on here
Yeah.
after they had asked her to lie to the police and they had fled to Hawaii. And, you can go find it if you want to watch it. But anyway, you think about in that the way she kept talking to Melanie, basically, I love you. I love you, Mel. You're my best friend. These two didn't know each other for very long. They'd only
Yeah.
known each other for a little more than a year, you know.
Right.
But besides, throwing scripture back and forth at each other like
Yeah.
hot weapons, they
So
there
funny.
was a lot of that. But I love you. That is so Lori. Yes,
It
reeling
was
in
so
people,
manipulative because it
so
was
manipulative.
as
Mhm.
sort of as her defense of her behavior, but I love you, like,
Yeah.
that is supposed to be
Mhm.
enough
Yes. Yes.
when she's done some seriously crazy stuff and tried to involve Melanie in
Mhm.
those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I love you and you are like my sister, and I was
Mhm.
thinking, I mean, those 2 were only friends for about a year. And that's the level of, but it's that's what I totally agree with you that she finds women who are low on self-esteem, who need someone to validate them, and she
Mhm.
loves them. And
Yeah.
that's how she has gathered some of these followers that she had and
Yeah.
friends. Yeah.
But I could totally see that happening in prison, and I could totally see her, I mean, it seems pretty clear that she's okay with removing people who are, um, inconvenient to her in some way or
Yeah.
another, and that
Yeah.
I feel like will continue, what as much as she has the opportunity.
Totally. Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. So,
Mhm.
as always, we'll keep an eye on it, and there is some court coming up this month. Um, what's it Oh,
Yeah,
it's
the end of
for
the month.
the decision about whether or not, it's Chad's attorneys.
The
This is so
dismissal.
funny. The dismissal. Yep, he had filed a while back, asking the courts to just throw the whole damn thing out because they don't have enough evidence, because the bodies apparently weren't enough, but anyway, so that will be heard later this month. So we'll definitely keep a finger on that as well.
Mhm.
Yeah. So we'll see what goes on. We're keeping a close
I
eye on
will
old Mark Means and his shenanigans over on Twitter. Nothing new, so we'll let you know.
No, although something did come out today that Idaho has now pushed all jury trials back to 2021. So any
Uh,
jury trials that were meant to happen this year are happening in 2021. And now that they've joined their trials, they haven't even actually set a trial date for them with the joined case. And so
mhm.
I really do wonder, what's going to happen there if we're going to have to wait quite a while before the trial. I don't know.
It's I think it's very possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone wants to know if we have merch. We do have merch.
Yes, we do.
I am going to share a link with you. We're on Etsy. Everything we do, because Kristi and I both also are crafters, artists of sorts. And so
Yeah.
not everything we do, but some of what we do is over on Etsy. And it's our Etsy store. Wow, that's good. Our Etsy store is Joyful Goddess. So
Mhm.
you
We do
can
have
Joyful
shirts.
Goddess designs. Yeah, but we do have shirts. Yeah, neither of which we're wearing tonight, but
I
I
wore
have
mine on
worn
Sunday, so
I've worn mine so much that I need to make myself another one because I love it so much. It's so
I
comfortable.
I was thinking the same thing, actually. I need to get you a shirt and say, "Hey, will you, put
Oh,
another logo on here?"
I have lots of blanks. I'll just make you another one. But
Oh, well,
yeah,
please do.
yeah, we're loving them. That's
Mhm.
what I mean.
Mhm.
I made the one the we did a giveaway when we got to 20,000 downloads on our podcast, and I had given them when I was making them. My husband came in as I was pressing them onto the shirts, and he said, "That is the cutest. That is so cute." And I thought that was so weird. I don't think I've ever heard him call anything cute. But anyway, he thinks they're cute. Oh, Amanda said she loves her shirt she got from us. Yeah, thank you so much.
Good. Glad
I'm
to
so
hear
glad
it.
that you got it. Yeah, because Amanda, it's yours
Mhm.
that I made, and then one of the pigs got her dirty snout on it because she stole it off the table, and I had to make another one. So you got that one, and my husband got the one that has a little piggy kiss on it. So,
Oh, you
yeah,
have a weird life, that's all I'm saying.
I have a weird life. Amen. There you go. So crazy. Anyway, well, should we move on to the case we want to present tonight?
Well, yeah, let's talk about this because this is an interesting one.
Yes, it is. So this was a murder that happened in 1972, on August 23rd, 1972. A girl named Jody Loomis she was riding her bike. She'd been riding her bike from her home in Bothell. I believe this is in Washington, isn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah, in Washington State.
Yeah.
And she was riding to a nearby stable to ride her horse, and she was shot in the head. And later that evening, a couple of people found her, and she was naked and had a gunshot wound to the head. And
Yeah.
they got her to a hospital where she died. And there was nothing for decades. There were suspects, but nobody was ever charged. Nothing really happened in this case. And her poor family had no idea what happened to her or what, who did this to her or why or what the hell.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so finally they got a break in the case. They were using genetic genealogy. Again, this familial DNA is people that committed crimes in the 70s ought to, be quaking or earlier because this
Right?
is so
I know,
wild.
people out there that really think they really got away with it, and they freaking
Hmm.
didn't. Yeah.
Yep. So a digital file containing DNA genotype data gathered from evidence collected from the victim was uploaded to GED Match. That's a public genetic genealogy website, and they got some hits.
Mhm.
And they had a genealogist identify the parents of some of the possible suspects. And based on the family trees that they found, police were able to track that back to someone who had been a suspect.
Yeah.
And they arrested him, of course. And it's just so amazing. So his name was Miller. That's his
Miller.
first name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Terry.
Terrence Miller.
Yeah.
Terrence Miller. So they finally arrested him. He was 78 years old. He was
Yeah.
living just outside of Seattle. And they tried him, and he was actually out on bail. And he was actually home. So the trial was done, and the jury was trying to decide what to do with this guy. They were still in deliberations.
Yeah.
And he killed himself.
Yeah.
And about 3 hours later, the jury convened and they found him guilty.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yep.
Frustrating. Frustrating situation.
Yep. A very frustrating situation.
Weird to me that he was out on bond, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, he was 78. I'm guessing his health was shit, and they probably didn't want the liability of having him in a jail.
yeah, I suppose that's true, but it just seems crazy that,
Yeah.
you're charged with first-degree murder,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you're out during your trial. That just seems, and I'm sure it is because of his age, but it just does really seem crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure. It's such a sad case. I mean, they all are, but in this one, it's just so unthinkable. I mean, she's just riding her bike to ride her horse, like,
Yeah.
But again, you go, okay, well, here we go. What other crimes has this guy committed?
Right, right, and that I do question that, like, are they gonna match his DNA to
Yeah.
some other cases over time? That seems to be,
Yeah.
something that comes up, you know, all the time, that then they discover that maybe this person has been committing these kinds of,
Yeah.
crimes all their
Yeah.
life.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Well, and, right, because he was free and clear on this for 48 years
Yeah, I
before
mean,
he
he
got
had
picked
to have
up.
thought he'd just completely gotten away with it.
Totally. Totally. And again, surely he had friends and family that were totally blown away.
Yeah.
You
You
know?
wonder. You
Yeah.
really wonder, like, I mean, I imagine that they didn't know about this, but was he a good
Mhm.
guy? Was
Yeah.
he a nice person? Was he good to his family, you know?
Yeah. I don't
I
know.
doubt it. I just really
Right?
doubt it.
Yeah. So I pulled a picture up here. This is Jody Loomis. This was her not too long before she died.
Yeah.
But anyway, here we go again, familial DNA for the win.
Yeah.
One of the cases we did this week was also about familial DNA. Hopefully you guys saw it. Also, something that we probably ought to bring up is that we have a new format. So we're
Yes.
going to try it out for a couple of weeks, see how we like it, see how you guys like it. But rather than super long cases, one super long case a week, we're putting out 3 shorter cases,
Yeah.
which means we'll be putting out cases on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. And then, of course, Wednesday nights and Thursday nights, we do live. So there's 5 releases from us a week. So we'll see how that goes. We loved it this week. It was
I
awesome.
think it's gonna be
Yeah.
great.
No motive, you guys. Nothing that I could find. Yeah.
No, other than he raped her. So he raped her
Yeah.
and then he killed her. And
Yeah.
so if it was just, you know, trying to
Yeah.
kill her to keep her from speaking up. But, one thing I thought was interesting is that they were watching him, undercover police were watching him, and he threw away a cup of coffee, and that's how they
Mhm.
got his
His DNA.
his
Yep.
DNA.
Yep.
But yeah, I hate when there's no, like, well-known, understood motive. Like, I think that's awful. Because how do you
Mhm.
explain to somebody's family, like, you know,
Yeah.
he didn't really even
Yeah.
have a reason? Not that there's ever a reason, but, just
Yeah.
gross. Yeah.
Just a sex offender. Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. Yuck.
Yeah.
But, at least her family got that much closure. Her brother is still living, and he did say, that he really wanted to see him at least spend some time in prison, considering that he got 48 years on the lam. So
Right.
it is very disappointing to her family that this happened. However, they did at least get, they did at least get the verdict. He
Mhm.
was found guilty of her death.
Mhm. Well, and
Yeah,
now they've got his DNA in the system, and maybe they will close some other cases.
yeah,
And I always think at least to try to look at the bright side on situations like this, at least there's something there to give the family some closure. Maybe some other communities and families will get some closure as well.
yeah,
And, you just can't get away with this kind of stuff like you used to be able to.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Again, it makes me go, I hope that people that committed some of these crimes back in the 60s, 70s, 80s,
Yeah.
90s, that thought
Mhm.
that that it was all a done deal. I hope they are terrified right now,
I do
knowing that this
too.
could
I
be
really
happening.
do. Because it's just continuing to play out like that, you know?
Yeah.
I think if you committed to something terrible like this, then definitely
Mhm.
it's time to be scared. Definitely is.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope it's a very scary time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I know.
So
That's
wild.
I'm just grateful for people that have waited this long for some kind of justice for a family member, at least getting something, you
Yes.
know?
Yeah. Yep, without a doubt. Yeah. So, there you go. That's a very interesting case for sure.
It is, yeah. Well, and we're just excited to be able to bring you now 5 shows a week.
Yeah.
'Cause, we love you guys and we love presenting cases for you and doing what we do, and so we just thought,
Yeah.
we're gonna switch this up a little bit so that we can bring you more content
Mhm.
and see how that goes. Because I think it's gonna go really well.
I think so too. I like it. So far I like it. I really loved what we've done so far this week. So,
Mhm.
we'll take it. And
Well,
speaking
and
of this week,
yeah.
do you think we're going to they'll find the zodiac? We've had several requests to do the zodiac. And I think we will do it as a whole
Mhm.
as a whole episode. We should. I don't know. Well, I know why we haven't, because there's just so many cases. But
Right.
we will try. And Jennifer, I will definitely check for your Facebook message,
Mhm,
and we'll get
mhm.
back to you.
But the Zodiac is interesting because I do think the Zodiac is one of those that maybe familial DNA can, um,
Maybe.
you know, can finally put to bed. I hope
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. I would never say never at this point. But
Yeah,
we'll cover the zodiac, I promise. We'll do
we
that
will.
soon.
And we'll maybe
Yeah.
look into seeing if there's been any movement based on the familial DNA. I'm
Yeah.
sure we'd know if it had been solved, but, maybe it's being looked at. Be good to know.
Yeah, it would for sure.
Mhm.
It's a very interesting thought in the criminal justice field that that we now have specialists that are working specifically on DNA.
Yeah.
And
Well, and
what
these
an
genealogical specialists that can,
yes, and genealogical specialists. Yeah, it's a really interesting tool. It's an interesting study. Like, if I were going to go back and have a new career, it probably wouldn't be that, frankly, but I would love for it to be that.
super
I'm much more
interesting.
of a English guy than a math guy, but I'm
Yeah,
really
yeah.
interested in it. Yeah, but
Yeah, I am too. I am too. I find it really, really fascinating.
yeah,
You
maybe
know,
I'll
I'm Oh, go ahead.
maybe I'll make one of my kids do that. I don't know.
There you go.
It's not too late to change majors.
Sure. Sure. I'm sure they do that.
It's always successful when you make your kids do what you want them to do with their
Oh, it
lives.
always works out so good. Yeah. So good. I've learned that as well.
For sure. Would we ever do John Bonet? We did John Bonet. But we did John Bonet in it might have been for Patreon, honestly.
Might have been. It was one of those we do these we were calling it it was one of our roulette shows, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But here's the problem. We can't call shows like celebrity murder roulette or something like that because then YouTube thinks that we're promoting dangerous activities because the word
Mhm.
roulette is in the show name. So we've had to change those now.
Yeah. We're not allowed to call a show anything
Mm-mm.
roulette. So
No. Turns out just, being snarky it doesn't work. The YouTube algorithm is a little too literal for us. So,
yeah. Yep. That's not cool.
but
So
yeah, we did do just a very short, like 5-minute coverage of Jean Bonnet on one of those.
we did. Yeah. We should do a whole episode for John Bonet. It's certainly worth that.
I
Yeah.
think we could.
We'll take a look at it for sure.
I've certainly read it in the past. I know you have too. We have some
I've
we have
used
some
that one as
opinions.
yeah, because I've used we both have taught forensic mediumship before, and
Mhm.
I've used that tool or that class as that death, sorry, as a tool lots of times in class for students to read as
Yeah.
well. It's one we're deeply familiar with, but
Mhm.
but yeah, I'd consider doing a full look at it for sure. So Anna said, CC Moore of Genetic Detective show. So interesting. Oh, I'm
Yep.
definitely going to go find that.
I
That's
have to
awesome.
find that. I've been watching a bunch of
Yeah.
forensic detective stuff lately. I love it. Love
Yes.
it.
And oh, so interesting. So JR says, I'm not sure of the name, but there is a new technology through DNA that you can recreate the suspect's facial features. Wow. Isn't that amazing?
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy cool.
hmm When I had my DNA done, I had some clients that were like, "Ooh, I would never do that." Then the government knows who you are. And I went, "Well, I mean, I'm okay. I'm not going to do anything." So,
Yeah.
but I know some people don't want that much information about themselves
Mhm.
into the world, which I do understand to some degree, but I don't know. I thought it was fascinating, you know.
Mhm. It is fascinating. It really is, and it's one of those things that it feels new now, but I think eventually it won't be new at all because
Yeah.
it's being used, well, for one, being used diagnostically for medical stuff to
hmm
really interesting degrees. Really, really interesting.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Well, and I learned that our family, we've got way more, oh gosh, Neanderthal. We have more Neanderthal than most people.
We
So
are Neanderthals. What can we say? We
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 weren't
thought
surprised.
we thought we were pretty intelligent, well educated, but maybe we're not. I don't know. I don't know what that
Well,
means.
I mean, Neanderthals didn't suck, you know. They figured
Right.
out a lot of things that we still do. But
True.
anyway,
Ghislaine Maxwell and Jean Bonnet connection. Is there any truth to that?
I haven't seen
Wow.
anything about that.
I haven't either. Well, I guess it's time for us to do that, huh?
Yeah, worth investigating.
Yeah. Ooh, that just gives me the shivers, to be perfectly honest.
Mm,
Ugh. Ghislaine
yuck.
Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein. Holy cow. Talk about a couple of sociopaths. Whew.
Yeah. A little like Chad and Lori coming together and being gasoline in a flame. So were
Mhm.
they.
Oh, so much so. So much
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Jessica said, also want to thank you for the cleansing exercise. Not normally my thing, but was feeling really heavy last week and it was so helpful. And don't worry, I'm way more Neanderthal too.
Mm,
Unite.
good
Okay.
job. Oh, and
Yes.
Anna says she'd like to know our take on the cases on the new Unsolved Mysteries on Netflix. I've been watching it, Anna, and I've actually been making some
Mm.
notes about some of the cases that I would like us to cover. So thank you for mentioning that because, yeah, it's been very
Yeah.
interesting. And there's some cases on there that I was like, ooh, I have some hits on this. I want to cover some
Uh-huh.
of them. So, yeah, you'll see some of that coming up.
Well, yeah, because now we have 3 episodes a week. So
I know 3
we're going
cases
to
a week
cover a lot
besides our
more
live stream.
ground.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
are. that was one of the reasons we have so many cases suggested and so many that we want to
Mhm.
do, and we just felt like we needed to change it up a bit so that we're getting more of them out there.
Yeah, definitely.
Plus
Yeah.
our 2 live streams a week, of course, we'll keep those
Yeah.
as well, so
Yeah. So speaking of live streams, tomorrow night we'll be back at 8 p.m. Or the Mountain, sorry,
mhm.
and we will be. That's the Psychic Hour. So some of you guys love the Psychic Hour. Some of it, you guys, it's not your jam. Totally cool. But if that's your thing, come and see us and hang out. We'll do some readings and we'll be talking about. I don't know what. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I don't know what yet either. It hasn't really hit me yet.
Yeah.
Usually kinda how it kinda hits you and you're like, "Oh, okay, this is what it's supposed to be." We've
Hmm.
been doing this kind of, podcasting for a long time, and so we kind of wait for the universe smack upside the head to talk of what
Oh
to
yeah.
talk about because it's really reading the energy of the collective and what do we need to talk about right now, what's really important, and it hasn't
Hmm.
quite it hasn't quite come in yet.
Yeah. Yep. Isn't that funny? It's a and then one of us will message the other and say, "I know what the show's supposed to be," and you'll be like, "Yep, that's perfect.
That's
That
perfect. That's
works." So,
exactly what it's supposed to be. Mhm.
yeah. So,
So,
we'll know,
we will.
but sorry we don't know now.
Yeah. We'll know by tomorrow night for sure.
It'll be great. I'll tell
Yeah.
you that right
It
now.
will.
All
Definitely.
righty. Wow. Oh, really quick before we go, Stephanie says, I read an article from Jewish Family Something. They said that John Benet Ramsey was murdered in a sex cult party. Oy.
Hmm. I think it's a lot closer to home than that, just
I I think so
from a
too, but
psychic
yeah.
standpoint.
But man, there's been a lot of speculations on that one. And
So
of
much
course,
speculation.
her brother's the only living family member now.
Yeah.
So
There's a
wild.
picture of Jean and Ghislaine. Oh my god.
Uh
Yikes. Phew.
yeah.
Interesting. Hmm.
Oh, Anna
Yeah.
said she's heard that as well. Yeah, so many rumors. That case alone, you think about the press it got when she died
Oh.
and then all of these years. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, there's so much about that case that's made it just impossible to, solve,
Yeah. Yeah. So
unfortunately.
awful.
But we'll
The
see what
little
we can do
thing.
with it.
Yeah. Well, it's time to revisit that case, obviously.
Definitely.
All righty. Well, you guys, that is what we've got for tonight. So, again, we'll be back tomorrow night. That's Thursday night at 8 p.m. Mountain on
Mhm.
YouTube and on Facebook through live stream. So, come play with us and come get a reading. We'll
Yeah,
do what we can.
absolutely.
So, all righty, guys, you've been listening to True Crime Paranormal with the Psychic Sisters. Have a wonderful night.